Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I found Christy. We took a little break because we couldn't
Yeah.
match our schedules, but we are back. And today, of course, I know everybody wants to know about the Louis Vuitton price increase. Has the bag that you've been eyeing experience a price jump? Now, it's no surprise anymore that Louis Vuitton raises their prices every year, sometimes twice a year. And so have the other brands, as I understand. Chanel and Hermes, I believe, have
Oh, yeah.
also increased their price. I'd say that at this point in the game, for someone like me who just like, I'm a brokey and I'm just not interested anymore, the price increase doesn't make a difference. I think also from the perspective of me and Christy being client advisors, we see the price hikes. We remember what the prices were when we worked there. And even then, like, what justifies this bag costing $200 more than it used to when there
Right.
are no changes in manufacturing or materials, and being these are luxury items in basically a store of things that nobody needs. It's not like you can label this as inflation, like inflation of like the price of eggs going up. It's a luxury good. Okay, so let's see what actually went up. So we have the classics, basically. Let's start with those, with the Speedy, and the Neverfull going up from $80 to $100. The Alma BB raising an $80. And it looks like the biggest leap experience is the Carryall PM and MM with an increase of $230 for the PM and $240 for the MM. And that's a pretty good jump.
It is pretty, especially since that bag has only been out for a year and some change. It's not even like, now, I mean, it's a core piece at this stage in the game, I would say, but it's a newer piece, which means it sells really well for them to justify that. And it's made in Texas.
Yeah, made in Texas. So, one thing I can recall from working there was that it wasn't announced ever in the boutique because we didn't really know. They didn't really tell us until the day that it changed.
Yes, and they kind of did that with us. And the reason is because they didn't want the clients to know ahead of time so
Hmm.
they could buy it at the lesser price. And then and it sounds really bad, but it's, I believe, to be true. So let's just say the Neverfull you went to go buy, like say you were thinking about it or you're saving your coin for it or there's a special occasion coming up or whatever the circumstance may be that you have in your personal life, and you've been eyeing that classic Neverfull MM and monogram, and you're like, I really want this bag. It's going to be great for work, travel, whatever, your daily day life. And let's say when you clicked on the website and eyed that bag, it was 2030. That's how much it was when I worked there. Okay. And let's just say for kicks and giggles, the week after, it's going up to 2100. Well, you in your mind had planned, because with tax and stuff, you planned your budget or whatever in your mind. This is how much I'm spending on this bag. And you go in the next week, it's 2100. You can tell them till the cows come home. I have a screenshot when it was 2030. I planned on it is what it is. They don't want to tell you because it's kind of happens overnight and it's very
Hmm.
quiet, and it's just they don't think that anyone's going to think about it.
Hmm.
That $80, they don't think anyone when they go to pay with it with tax that they're going to even think about the $80, the $80 to $100 price.
And, people will buy it anyways. So this is not about inflation or costs of materials or tariffs. It's really because the brand can do it. They've been doing it for years, even when you and I worked there, before any of this talk about tariffs was even a thing.
Yeah, and the little, like, I wouldn't say white lie, or the little thing they would tell us at Vuitton, I don't know if you heard this too, was the materials have gone up, or the dollar and the euro were different, and so they had to make it match or something.
See, they never told us those stories. It was pretty much, here's the price of the bag.
Those are stories I heard. So here we are.
So just for fun, here's a little chart. I'll put a chart here of what the prices were and what they are now. So the Speedy 25 went from $14.90 to $15.70. This is the non-bandolier version. When I did work there, this bag was only $1,000. How much was it when you left?
That sounds about right. That sounds like the price I left. But
14.90.
mind you, I left in March, so it hasn't even been a
Recently.
year.
Yeah. So it was
It's and
14.90 in March.
it was Speedy
Yeah.
25. That sounds right.
And that is 4.90 more than it was. Let's see, when did I leave? 6 or 7 years ago.
Hmm.
So that's a pretty substantial jump for a bag that looks like this. Now, I have to mention, when I started my channel, I was watching, this is when like luxury people were started talking about it. It, got popular during COVID because people were staying at home. So there were all these videos coming out where these ladies were saying, oh, because they're increasing the price, they must be increasing the quality. And these are the types of stories people make up on the internet or to justify their own spending.
Hmm.
Want me to create my channel and say, okay, hey guys, as as a former employee, this brand does not actually care to give you more value for your price increase.
Mm-mm.
And
No.
it's not just this brand. There's a lot of brands that do that. But the consumer can tend to make up a story of like why they are paying the extra money for the same product.
Yes, we can create our own narratives in our head, but the fact of the matter is the bag, if anything, the quality is not as good as it used to be. So you're paying more for less. Just like when you go out to restaurants now, you're paying more for less
For
quality
less. It's
and for
true.
less stuff. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's everything. It's not just Louis Vuitton, it's across the board.
Across the board.
But it's different when you're going to your restaurant, sitting down and paying $50 for a meal and paying $5,000 for a bag.
Hmm.
It's a little different of a price point, but you're not paying, the price isn't going to make the bag even, it's not going to, grow wings and fly. It's not going to have a diamond and propose to you. It's not going to make your life a better place. It's not, you aren't going to be soaring maybe for a second, but it is what it is.
Yes. So basically, the price increase does not reflect any changes on the bag because we both have witnessed that. Now, other changes. So the Neverfull went from 2030 to now 2130. And that's crazy because when I worked there, it was still, when I started working there, it was 1170. I believe when I left, it was 1230. So
Yeah,
that's almost $1,000 more for
that's insane.
your, what people call your basic tote bag, and that is insane. The Alma from 1860 to 1940. I
Well,
remember it being
it
around
was
1100.
1760 when I left, so it
So
must have
that's
taken another price increase. And when I started, it was like 1600, and that was in
for canvas, yes.
21.
And all these pieces we're talking about canvas because I believe the Alma Epi was 15 when I had left, and the canvas was 1170 or 1200, something around there. And then we mentioned the carryall. So all of these two are like core pieces, except for the carryall because it's a newer piece. But the Speedy, the Neverfull, the Alma,
Mm-hmm.
as Christy and I will reiterate, you can still get this bag resell, pre-loved. It's going to be the same, if not better. Better.
Because probably the older canvas that's thicker.
So I did see a question about what year did the canvas change. I believe that it was around 2014. I don't know if you know that number exactly. Vuitton pieces I have, one is from the 80s and one is from the 90s. They're definitely thicker canvas. And even the pochette accessoire I've had that's Murakami from early 2000s, that's definitely a thicker canvas.
Yeah. My pochette accessoire is from VAP, the employee website. I got a great deal on it, but it had the original price tag in it
Mhm.
from, I think, when it was $500, but I paid $300 for it. And I think now it goes for like, oh, I want to say 1600, but
Oh,
it's
wow.
thicker canvas.
Yes. So I like from the top of my head, I can faintly remember is 2014 or 2015 when the canvas quality started to go down for anyone who is wondering. So don't be afraid to buy an old bag because to me, that's a real Louis Vuitton over some of these fast fashion pieces that
Mm-hmm.
they're spewing out now. So we hear different reasons like the tariffs. Everyone wants to blame the tariffs. But like I said, these price increases, they literally happen every year, if not twice a year. And it is another tactic because, like, let's say if I were going to buy a bag and I found out the price was increasing next week, but I didn't want to buy the bag until 6 months from now, it will push me a bit to say, oh, well, if I can buy it now and save a little bit of money, I would probably want to do it.
Yeah.
Then another thing is that it just it helps feed into the brand exclusivity that these luxury brands are feeding to you.
They're all going up. Chanel took a price increase recently. I just saw the classic flap. I'll use that for an example because you and I both have one. It's now like
Hmm.
$12.20. It's insanity. But every fashion house is taking a price increase. But everything I've seen online, aside from Hermes, the
Hmm.
quality is going down. I've heard
Hmm.
Chanel is going down too. So they've been feeling, I guess, the wrath, if you want to call it that, as well. So these big fashion houses, everything is increasing. The quality is going down.
And people still buy. There's always still a line outside of Chanel and Hermes.
That's true.
So why do buyers still fall for it? Like I said, it makes them feel like part of the club. If you have the money, fine. As long as you understand, there is no added value to the bags, nor does it really appreciate in value. So you might have seen the price of the Speedy. Like, for example, I remember the Speedy 30 being, I think it was $1,020 when I left. And now if you buy it in the store, the price of it is 15, right? Close to 15.
Something like that. The 30 non-bandolier, about 15, 16, something around there.
Now that doesn't mean that it increased in value. So one might think, oh, it increased $500 in value. So if I wanted to resell it, there's value in it. And that simply doesn't happen. Because if I
No.
wanted to resell this Speedy, there are so many on the market that it wouldn't be actually making money unless it was a very limited special edition, something like Steven Sprouse.
I was about
You
to
know,
say Steven Sprouse.
Steven Sprouse.
Good old
Very
Steven.
hard to get, great quality canvas. Unless you want something like that, you can't just buy a Speedy and then try to sell it later. But another
Right.
thing I want to emphasize on this is that you're actually wearing it and using it. So if you're thinking of it as like some type of investment, okay, Christy, do you go to the mall to make an investment?
No. I go there to make bad decisions.
Right? We do retail therapy.
Absolutely.
So there's no investment. Like for me, there's no investment in going to the mall other than to like be in my happy place and to spend
Mhm.
money. And, part of the reason Christy and I do this show is I think people have a misconception too. They see us and they go, oh, those girls are going to put us down. This is just the truth of luxury retail and
Mhm.
how one could be fooled into thinking because the price is going up, I'm getting more bang for my buck, getting more bag for my value, but nothing is changing. And especially not the investment or the value. You just don't make money off of these types of bags.
Right. And to that point, there is nobody we are just like specifically speaking to, like, oh, hey, we're knocking on like you going to the Louis Vuitton store and living your best life and opening up your wallet and giving your money to them. If that's what you want to do, knock yourself out. Nobody is stopping you.
Hmm.
You can do what you want to do with your own money. No one is here to tell you what you can do with your paycheck. Do what you want to do. We are coming from a point of we are former client advisors and we are letting you in on the telltale secrets that you are going to know when you're inside that store because you are going to be in the store, in the environment. You may get champagne service, you may get watered, you may be just hyped up and your ego is going to be stroked. That's part of the whole thing. And if if you want that for your day, if that's what you want, you thrive on it, that's fine. You can easily go on Fashionphile or any of these resale websites and get a bag that's been gently used or has a story behind it. And girl, you can go buy a bottle of champagne and open it up at your house and drink it with your new bag when it comes in the mail or something and knock yourself out, and stroke your own ego. Like it's something that's even cooler and it's not made anymore, or you're not having to spend all this money on the price hikes. And like most of my Louis Vuitton bags I have are pre-loved, and I got them because they don't make them anymore and I loved them and I didn't care. In fact, I think most of the ones that are pre-loved are cooler because some of the new ones they're coming out with, I have no idea what's going on here. And they're going to be
Hmm.
more expensive and not as cool and as unique. And plus, we both have a connection to the Marc Jacobs era. And all I'm saying is anything that that man touched was gold and was
Gold.
better. And I'm here for it. I'm buying into that hype.
Now, I love what you said about like getting your ego stroked when you go into the store because
Hmm.
for a lot of people, and I'm not knocking it at all,
Right.
like, especially first time buyers, it was an experience. And that was what we were taught to make an experience for them.
Hmm.
And there is also that cohort of Louis that they don't necessarily want the experience for themselves. They want the experience to show off on their Instagram, to show off to
For
their
sure.
friends. So there is that portion of it too. Now, as we've seen, like we love the bags from the Marc Jacobs era. We love those older items.
Hmm.
The bags made now, they really are made in a more fast fashion sense. There's not as much care, or I mean, sometimes I feel like not even enough design thought into it to justify such a exorbitant price.
There was a love language that Marc Jacobs had, a connection with Louis Vuitton and a history and something that he brought to the table when he came on as the creative director for women's that is by far kind of like what Tom Ford did for Gucci. He
Hmm.
just had a really good relationship with a lot of designers that he did collaborations with. And in the history of fashion, I've never seen such beauty and art artwork as that he did when he was at Louis Vuitton. And that era, I will listen. I think I would go resell all the way because everything he did was just genius.
Yes, we need a whole show on Marc Jacobs because he also brought ready to wear to Louis
Hmm.
Vuitton when it used to be
True.
just handbags. Yes, yes. And I see there's still a value. Obviously, Louis Vuitton is a higher end brand name. So, of course, you would expect to pay more than what you would do, say, buying something at Macy's or even a Coach bag. So, yes, there's that like brand name built in. But I think what we want to emphasize is when there's a price increase, like more and more, as the consumer, sorry to burst anyone's bubble, don't expect that there's going to be more to that Alma bag now that it's $100 more or so. I mean, literally, you're just $100 less out of your pocket and into the accounts of LVMH. Oh, and let's bring this up too, because back then when it was like, oh, price increase, automatically the customer thought, well, then the sales associate, me and Christy, are going to get more commission.
Not white. Anything this we got like no money on.
No,
Like
so let's say an
maybe
Alma,
$2.
right? It raises by the price of the Alma has raised by let's $80. So what was that was 80 cents. 80 cents more commission that the associate
Yeah.
would get in their pocket.
Every time people would come in and complain about whatever it was they were complaining about, oh, well, I'm paying your paycheck. I'm like, I've been waiting for this, whatever bag it was that was not, I'm not saying nobody's money matters, but
Hmm.
whatever bag it was that was not like top dollar that was really going to put anything in our pocket. It's like, unless you're buying high end, unless you're buying a Capucine or an exotic, we're not really making money. And even on those, it was almost laughable.
1% on those.
Hmm.
Just for the record, 0.25% canvas when I was there, and as I understand, went to 0.1. Is that correct?
Yeah, and the Capucine went up to point. It went up to 2%.
Okay, well, that's good. If we ever sold a Capucines, which we
Yeah,
have discussed is like the hardest bag to sell.
it is because no one, everyone dresses so leisure now. Like that's the style. Is that unless you're dressing up every day to the nines, unless you're Paris Hilton, it's not going to work out for you. Maybe.
So I saw some comments that like some people were saying we were poo-pooing on the Capucines and they really love their Capucines, which is great. What people don't understand is it's a very small percentage of there's a very small percentage of Capucine buyers because most of them are
Yeah,
buying these canvas styles.
that is true. The
And
Capucine was a niche market.
yes, and I think, just Vuitton continually driving that price point higher, they try everything they can to make it the exclusive it girl bag. And
And
purposely,
yeah,
they don't want it accessible to everyone.
I think it's a pretty bag on paper. I don't think that bag is, I'm not saying that bag is not a pretty bag. What I am saying is that it's not worth your money because one, I guess I have PTSD from them shoving it down my throat to sell it all the time, like every day. Sell Capucine Kelp, it was like every day. And like if we sold one, they'd take our picture and like put it on the wall in the back.
Oh, wow.
Like we were a kid and like we made an A on our paper and we stuck it
A
on the
gold
fridge.
star. Yeah, we didn't even get our picture on the wall for a
Anytime
Capucines.
we sold high end, they would take our picture in the back with a picture of us holding the piece we sold and stick it on the wall underneath our picture.
Girl, you were lucky because anytime we sold a Capucines, it would come back the following week. It would come back.
It
Never
sometimes would
fail.
come back. The only time I really got to sell one of those things is if a husband was coming in like the day of his anniversary and he was like, "Oh my God, I'm in trouble. I haven't gotten anything." I'm like, "Well, you're in the doghouse unless you buy this $8,000 bag." And he would take anything. And that was the only way I got to sell one of those things.
I remember coming in one day and like the associate saying, "Sorry, Michelle." And I was like, "What happened? Did my cat die? I don't even have a cat." And what had happened was this family had bought like a Capucines. I forgot what it was. It wasn't the BB, it was the bigger one. It was a huge
Oh,
one.
the MS.
And then returned it. So it was, and I was like, that's weird because they were acting like they were giving it as a gift, but apparently they were just using it for a party. So I think we'd always just, kind of like if you're on a plane that's going down, okay, I'm selling it, but I'm going to brace myself for impact in event
Right.
that
Because they had
I'm going to
30
come in.
days to
Hmm.
return it. And so as soon as they walked out the door, you wanted to start that timer.
Yeah. So all kinds of ploys. And I would say even with the increases of these, so quote unquote basic, I hate using that basic, but just like their
Core,
classic styles,
core,
their core
classic.
styles, it still creates that exclusivity in the marketplace that it does set the brand beyond, okay, Vuitton is definitely a different price point than Coach.
Yeah.
As for the reasons behind it, corporate greed. And then as for the reasons people would want to buy in that, I think that's what we're here trying to dispel is that it's just set your expectations. It's the exact same bag. It is not going to grow in resale value. It is not going to wash your dishes for you, or I don't know. There's no
I
magic
wish it would.
leprechaun, right? There's no magic leprechaun in there that's going to pop out and throw gold at you because this bag is here.
Mm-hmm. Right. So
Okay.
on that note, Michelle and I had discussed because people have been asking 5 things you shouldn't do when you're shopping at Louis Vuitton.
I think we'll make that the next show. So I'm going to ask you, Christy, is there a
Mhm.
bag that you wish you bought? And when I say before the price increase, I don't mean this recent one. Is there a bag that you wish you bought in like, say, 2010, now that you see the prices of these bags? And it could be anything, not just Louis.
2010 was in
Or
2000.
like 2000, or like maybe when you first
Louis
discovered your love
Vuitton,
for
probably
bags.
anything Murakami or Steven
Hmm.
Sprouse.
Yes.
Definitely. The white Murakami Speedy 30. Wish I would have bought it.
Okay.
And not on a
The
Louis
Jessica
Vuitton
Simpson
note.
bag.
Yeah, she went to my high school, so maybe it makes sense. Also, I wish I would have bought the Chloe luggage. And apparently the Chloe has, or not the Chloe luggage, the Celine luggage. The Celine luggage bag. And Celine, everything I wanted has making a comeback. Fendi
Okay.
baguette
Yes.
or a Fendi baguette back in the day. And also, what else came back? The spy bag has also made a return. And I called that months ago. I'm like, I should buy a spy bag. She came back, right?
I love everything that Y2K, everything 90s and Y2K from high school and my college years are totally coming back.
And that is why I'm wearing a Argyle cardigan to commemorate the Clueless 30-year anniversary, because as if.
Yes. So if I could go back Now, I would say I still don't regret any decisions because I just went straight for the Marc Jacobs brand and skipped the Louis Vuitton. But I do wish I had a Steven Sprouse, maybe a Pochette Accessoire or a Speedy from back then.
Rose or graffiti?
Graffiti. The
Mhm.
one that says Louis
Yeah,
Vuitton in the graffiti all over. I just love that. That's so Marc
it's art.
Jacobs about how he took streetwear
Mhm.
to high-end luxury. And that's the type of fashion that just when I
That's fantastic.
decided to go into fashion at that time, it was like that was what drew me was the art in it. And it's a very different landscape now. Now
Right.
it's just not that anymore. The other bag I wish I would have bought back in the day, which honestly back then too it didn't make sense either. I wish I had just a classic Chanel flap because I know I feel today too those bags just aren't made they aren't made as well as they used to be.
I have one from 2011 or 12, and I don't know when it started being made different, but mine's fine. I mean, it's not probably like the mid 2000. It was not the 24 karat gold one,
Hmm.
but it's fine. She's fine.
Yeah, I would love to have the 24 karat gold one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But if I think about it now, I'm like, okay, well, at the end of the day, it's just a bag.
That's true. She's just a bag.
Yeah, they're just bags. That's our response to the price increase.
Mhm.
Nothing new or groundbreaking. I think sometimes we want us to tell them, is it worth it? And even when I work there, when the prices were much lower, it's
Mhm.
worth it is subjective to every person, right? And it doesn't matter if it's luxury or not. For some people, $100 steak at a restaurant is worth it. They might buy that, but then say like, "Oh, I don't want to spend this much on a watch." Or vice versa. That person who may be spending 20K on a Rolex, priorities, it could be like, "Okay, I don't want to pay that much for a steak. I'm going to pay $20 for this."
Right.
So it's all like, what's it called? Subjective. It's all
Yeah. It's
it's
all up to you what you feel the value is at the end of the day. Do you feel like it holds a value to you? Does getting this piece and putting it in your life and wearing it every day on your wrist, does it make you feel like a better human? It's whatever you feel like is your wallet is taking you to, whatever you think is
Mhm.
worth it. It's not what's worth it to me is worth not may not be worth it to you.
As long as you don't overextend yourself and then carry the debt. But we cannot, like, personally, me and Christy, I will never say, oh, yes, I think that's worth it. I think you should spend it because these are consumer goods. They're non essential consumer goods. And
Right.
yeah,
And
we're
don't
not
go
qualified to give that
broke
advice.
over it. Don't go I had a client try to pay with Klarna. Klarna?
Hmm.
That pay as you go credit card, like Afterpay. So like I guess on the Louis Vuitton website you can pay as you go.
Really? Do they have Klarna? I didn't think they
I
did.
think so. Yeah, they do. Because some girl tried to pay with the Klarna app on her phone to get the high rise bum bag. And it would only let her buy it online, but not like in the store. So I don't know if that says anything about the brand that they're doing. They're letting you
No,
pay in
it says, I don't
installments
see
now.
that. I don't
Do you
see
see
that.
it?
What she must have done is she had a Klarna card and she was trying to pay
No,
that
because Louis
way.
Vuitton
No?
was on there.
Oh, really?
So if you go try to check out, it lets you use
All right, let
Afterpay
me
or
see.
Klarna. So
Let me
try to
try to
buy
check
something
out.
and see the payment options.
Okay, there's PayPal and there's
Do they do Afterpay or Klarna?
no, it says credit, debit, Apple Pay, PayPal, Visa, American Express, Discover, MasterCard, but it doesn't say Klarna.
Well, at the time it like said Louis Vuitton was connected to Klarna because I saw it. I was like, what?
Okay, so I have seen that on resale sites, which I mean, we're not financial advisors, but if you got to go that route for something like a
You may
handbag,
not be able. This may not be the
probably
thing for you,
it's probably not a good idea.
right?
You're the one who can tell yourself, is it worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Because I honestly can't answer that when people, I know the answer you want to hear, but I don't know everyone's personal situation. I'm not gonna back up, especially because I don't work there anymore, but like, there's the rule if you can buy it twice or if you can buy it 5 times, because there are collector's pieces that people might be looking to get. So
Right.
it's all personal preference. But what we're never going to say is like, oh, yes, they added value to that bag. And that's what people want to hear, but
Right.
it's just not happening.
It's not.
We'll end here Our next show is going to be about the 5 things not to do when you're luxury shopping. I'm going to say shopping in general. So
Yeah.
thanks, Christy, for being here. Thank you,
Yeah. You're welcome.
audience, and we will see you soon.
Bye.